Hello there, good evening. You are watching Look North. On the programme tonight, Bradford's Hospital Trust apologises after maternity failures leave a baby boy needing round-the-clock care. We speak to his family.
Due to their delays, mistakes, our child has suffered severe brain damage, which has affected his entire body. So that's his brain, his kidneys, liver.
Maternity care at hospitals in Bradford and Leeds is being examined by the government. Today, the Health Secretary met concerned families in Leeds. We'll have all the details of what was said. Also tonight, months after losing his leg, a Nottingham man is still stuck in hospital waiting for a house to meet his needs. The young Yorkshire actors stepping into the spotlight in the new Downton Abbey film, and the dry summer has produced a bumper crop of apples, so what can you do with your harvest? We've got ideas.
Well, after that awful start to the day, the sun finally came out. This was Pateley Bridge at around 3 o'clock this afternoon. But will the sun shine as we head through the second half of the week? Join me to find out.
Hello, thanks for joining us tonight. The trust that runs Bradford Royal Infirmary has apologised to the parents of a baby boy who was left with severe brain injuries after being starved of oxygen. Mohammed Khan, who's also known as Aslan, was born by emergency caesarean in February. His parents chose to tell us their story after Bradford was revealed to be one of the 14 health trusts where failings have been examined in a national maternity inquiry. Olivia Richwald has been to meet them.
Baby Aslan lives in constant pain from stiffened limbs and acid reflux. His eyes can see, but his brain was so badly damaged during birth it cannot make sense of the outside world. His parents hope that he knows them from their smell and their touch.
All our dreams and, goals in life come out the window, honestly. We love him a lot. We're doing everything we can in our abilities to give him a good life.
In February this year, Javaria went to Bradford Royal Infirmary concerned about reduced movement of her unborn baby. Staff detected the baby had an abnormal heart rate, but nothing was done about that for more than 5 hours. In the morning, a consultant arriving on shift examined the heart trace and carried out an immediate caesarean section. But by then, Aslan, also known as Mohammed, had been starved of oxygen and suffered severe brain damage.
And I was shattered when they say he got severe brain injury and his kidneys are damaged and his lungs are damaged.
He's had an unfair start to life. It's the most severe type of brain damage that can leave you with lifelong, disabilities, and he'll need to be looked after all his life, pretty much.
The trust that runs BRI has acknowledged there will be lifelong consequences for this family. In a statement, a spokesperson said, "We sincerely apologise for the distressing experience that Mohammed and his family have been through. We are sorry that we have not provided the high standards of care that Mohammed's family should expect of us."
The government's announced a national review of maternity service and Bradford is going to be included in that. How do you feel about that?
We would have liked it to be a full public inquiry, so every single hospital around UK is looked into. Families and children shouldn't suffer the way Aslan and we are suffering.
Cameron used to have a career in IT, but has had to give up work to care for his son. The financial and mental toll on this family has been significant.
This is meant to be a joyous time, and the whole world has been destroyed by what's gone wrong at the hospital.
You must feel extremely angry that those medical professionals who should have been caring for you let this happen.
We are very angry, but there's so much we can only do. I mean, the only thing that we can do now is bring awareness to this sort of stuff so that tomorrow it doesn't happen to another child or another family.
The family has applied for compensation to help them care for Aslan, but they've been warned it could take years. In the meantime, they've set up a fundraising page to help their son live the best possible life. Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North, Bradford.
You can't imagine their anguish, can you? Thank you to Aslan's family for sharing their story with us. And of course, maternity failings at hospitals in Leeds are also going to be examined as part of the national review that Olivia mentioned in her report there. Today, the Health Secretary Wes Streeting met families in Leeds who've raised concerns about that review, saying that it doesn't go far enough and that a full independent inquiry is needed instead. Our reporter Tom Ingle spoke to the families after that meeting. He's with us now. Tom, what more do we know about what was said today?
Amy, this is the first time I've covered this story, and what struck me most when I spoke to the families was the quiet dignity they were conducting themselves with. There is clearly anger, but more than that, there is campaigning to make sure their circle does not grow any further, that other people do not suffer the terrible consequences of failings that they have suffered. And the families clearly put their point very carefully to Wes Streeting, the Health Minister, pushing for that full independent inquiry. And they told us that one of the things they did in that meeting was hold up a washing line 10 metres long with dozens of small baby grows and some adult-sized T-shirts attached to it, representing the lives they say were lost in the last 5 years because of alleged negligence.
Now, one of the things that the parents are calling for is that it should be longer than just a 3-month look at these cases. There needs to be a much longer independent inquiry. Where did they get with that today?
Yes, so the families are saying the rapid review that they're talking about was just not good enough. It was essentially like the NHS marking its own homework. What they want is an independent inquiry along the lines of what's happening in Nottingham right now, also into failings into maternity. So I spoke to one parent, Angela Welsh, and she explained that they think they actually did manage to move Mr Streeting's opinions. He'd come in saying, no, we're not going to have that independent inquiry, but he's left saying they're going to think about it.
I do believe that he was absolutely changed by today, and he did actually say, I came in today with a definite no answer, but I'm leaving with I'm unsure, and I don't do that often. After we all spoke to him today, you could see it in his face, in his eyes. He was upset after listening to the absolute horrifying, I mean, I didn't know a lot of the stories. I mean, some of the stories that I've heard today, how they haven't been in the media already, or been on the news, or they haven't been in a Netflix documentary or Panorama or something. I was mortified, and I think he was shocked to the core.
And let's hear now from the families talking about the washing line of clothes they held up to show to the Minister their point.
It is a horrific sight to see. It stretched the full length of the room. And I don't think anybody could look at that and not be moved, not be horrified. And it turns, more often than not, we become statistics, we become numbers, we become, just a piece of paper. And we wanted to portray to the Health Secretary that we are people, that our children are people, that they mattered then, they matter now.
As you say, Tom, they got their message across in a very quiet and dignified way. What has the hospital and what have the government had to say after today's meeting?
Well, let's hear from Leeds Teaching Hospitals Trust first. This is the reaction they gave to being part of that government rapid review. They said, we welcome the inclusion of Leeds in the National Maternity and Neonatal Investigation, fully support its focus on improving maternity and neonatal safety across the country. We recognise that we have not always delivered the highest quality of care to every family, and we are extremely sorry to the families who have lost their babies or had a poor experience when receiving care in our hospitals. We did ask Wes Streeting, the Health Secretary, if he would like to give us an interview. Instead, we had a statement from the Department of Health and Social Care. It says, we're deeply grateful to the families in Leeds for their courage in sharing their stories. The repeated failures in Leeds are shocking, and we'll be looking very closely at how best to make the improvements required. Now, it's worth saying the families said to me this afternoon, if Wes Streeting does not change his mind, he comes back and says there isn't going to be an independent inquiry, that is not the end of the matter for them. I'm sure this will be a story that continues.
And we will keep covering it, Tom. Thank you. Next tonight, you may remember the story of David Taylor, an amputee from Nottingham who was stuck on the hospital ward because, well, he didn't have a suitable home to go to. Well, 7 months after being told he was well enough to leave hospital, David is still there. Of course he wants to go home, but his wheelchair won't fit through all of the doors, and attempts to find a new property through the local housing association have failed. He says the strain of being separated from his family for so long has left him feeling ripped apart. Our health correspondent Jamie Coulson can tell you more.
Mentally, it's just I'm holding on by a shoelace. Physically, my heart's holding on by a shoelace. At the end of the day, I just want to be back with my wife.
We're begging for a place to live. How bad is that in the UK? We are begging to get a place where we can live as a couple, and it shouldn't be like that.
David Taylor is still a patient at Pontefract Hospital, despite being declared fit to leave in January. Last November, the 57-year-old suffered a life-threatening sepsis, which required the amputation of his left leg below the knee. He moved to Pontefract Hospital to recover, but for the last 7 months has been unable to leave because his wheelchair won't fit in his home and he's been unable to find new social housing. David and his wife Kerry say the delays have affected his mental health.
I start to feel guilty for being here because I'm taking the bed up that somebody else could have. And it gets to me. There's a lot of things in here that get to me.
I had to rush here 2 weeks ago because Dave was in a situation where he wanted to do some damage to himself, and I stayed over that night. It hurts a lot, actually.
David was offered supported accommodation by Wakefield Council, but turned it down because he wants to live independently. The couple say they've applied for more than 70 properties via the website run by the housing association Vico Homes, but without luck. It's also been suggested he could return home temporarily with modifications to his property, even though an inspection found the doors to the kitchen and bathroom could not be widened, leaving David concerned he wouldn't be able to access the toilet. Councillor Pete Girt is David's local councillor in Nottingley.
David is probably the worst case I've come across, and I am really, really surprised that they've not found him a suitable property by now. Keeping a man stuck in a hospital, increasing the burden on the NHS, it's just not acceptable.
Both Vico Homes and Wakefield Council say they continue to support David, and both have emphasised that if he accepts the offer to modify his property, he would remain in the highest priority category while applying for new homes. But David worries a short-term solution could become another long-term problem. Jamie Coulson, BBC Look North.
And we'll keep you posted with that story as well. A coroner has said more people could die if action isn't taken to stop flooding on a Chesterfield street. Maureen Gilbert was 83 when she was found dead in her flooded home on Tapton Terrace during Storm Babette in 2023. After her inquest, the coroner wrote to the Water and Flooding Minister, as well as the County Council Director and the Chief Executive of the Environment Agency. He said he was concerned there was a lack of flood defences after 2 major storms, which could still be a risk to life. You're watching Wednesday's Look North, still to come on tonight's programme.
Here in White, on the outskirts of Bradford tonight, international bike racing. The knobbly tyres tell you it's cyclocross at the Supercross. More coming shortly.
But before that, let's talk about Downton, shall we? Have you seen the new movie, the grand finale? It arrived in cinemas last week, but did you know that some of it was filmed right here in Yorkshire? Ripon Racecourse, the Thirst Hall and the Great Yorkshire Showground in Harrogate were all used as locations. And some young budding actors and actresses were drafted in to help out too. A group of children who take performing arts classes with Stagecoach came in early to tell me about their experience on set. But before we hear from them, let's have a little sneaky peek at the film, shall we? Well, I'm joined by some local children who were in the background of some of those scenes in Downton Abbey. Bo, Sophia, Johnny, Sophie, lovely to see you all. Bo, I know you've seen the film. What did you think of it?
I thought it was, really good because, I could see myself for the first time in a film.
Oh, my gosh. How did you feel when you saw yourself there?
I felt, really, amazed and like, yeah.
Batting off all those fans, Bo. And so for you, Sophia, talk me through what you did, because you were in the fairground scene, weren't you?
Yeah.
And that was filmed at the Harrogate Showground. So how does it all work?
So basically you get there and you go to hair and makeup, which was nice, and then you put your costume on, and they were all like old-fashioned and dark colours and stuff, and then you went on like set, and I was on the like carnival ride and the carousel ride and stuff.
So you're just going around and around for hours?
Yeah, and then you had your food, and then you had to wait for like another 2 hours and you're back on set and stuff.
Oh my goodness, you must have been dizzy after all that, hours and hours going around on the carnival. And for you, Johnny, this was your first experience, wasn't it, being an extra? So what amazed you the most about it all?
Probably all the cameras and all, seeing all how it all, the magic all comes together of a film.
What did you make of the costumes? Because for the boys especially, it's a little bit different to what you might wear today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really different, because you have like lots of different layers on. You wear like old-fashioned clothes and it's all different to what you would wear today.
And what did you make of it?
They were nice clothes, but I wouldn't just wear them every day.
Yeah, you won't fancy wearing them for school?
No.
No, I don't blame you. Sophie, you have done this quite a lot, haven't you? Because your mum and dad run Stagecoach. So tell me about some of the logistics. We heard there a bit about the costumes, but what about the makeup? Are you all in trailers? How does it work on set?
Well, we were actually on the set, so because there are lots of animals there, we were where they hold all the cows and the sheep. So they made
Does not sound glamorous.
No. They had all the mirrors and the lights, everything, like it was like in Hollywood and everything. And they gave us pictures and they said, this is how we're going to do your hair. And they made it look exactly how the picture looked. And it was so amazing how much detail they put onto just one person's hair. It was absolutely amazing.
So what's next for all of you? Have you got any more jobs lined up? Should I get your autographs now?
I'm about to start rehearsals for my Christmas show at Stagecoach, and we're doing Bugsy Malone, and I'm really excited for that, and hopefully more films in the future, because Downton Abbey was really fun and amazing.
Yeah. Tell me, what did you enjoy about it most, Bo?
I enjoyed about it the most probably like being on set. Like it was really nice because we were in the like carnival scene. It was like really good because like it was like an olden day fair, and it was good.
And you got to go on loads of rides for free, so win-win. Well done to all of you, and I can't wait to watch it and try and spot you all in the background. Thanks for coming in. Who knows, stars of the future, maybe. It was lovely to chat with them all. Right, a little bit of sport now. Let's have a look at last night's football, though if you are a Sheffield Wednesday fan, you might want to look away. Wednesday became the latest victims of Grimsby's League Cup giant killing spree. Lots of Al fans boycotted the game, actually, in protest against Elfon Chansiri's ownership of the club. Kabir's goal settled the tie in Grimsby's favour just after half-time. We have 4 more teams still in round 3. All 4 of them will be up against Premier League opposition. Bit of cycling for you now. It is a bit early in the year to talk about the winter discipline of cyclocross, but we're going to talk about it because there's a series of the Supercross races already underway in Wyke near Bradford, and there are high hopes for this event to go a lot bigger in the future. Oggy has been there, obviously, with his arm behind his back, because this is not your gig at all, is it, Oggy?
Yes, I'm rather happy tonight. Thank you for sending me here, Amy. Don't be fooled, by the way, by the tarmac strip. This is the start and finish line of the Hope Supercross here at Wyke on the outskirts of Bradford city centre. You've heard me talk before many times about the wonders of, well, riding cyclocross for its safety, the circuit, from a spectator's point of view. Yes, you can get very close to the action. It's wonderfully spectacular with the muddy banks, the steps that they carry their bikes up, and it could get much bigger, as you say, thanks to the efforts of this gentleman, our guest Ian Wetherall, who's part of the organisation team. It's about trying to bring a World Cup round here, Ian, long term. The UCI are here, think FIFA in footballing terms, the world governing body of cycling. How realistic would it be, a World Cup, maybe even here in Yorkshire?
Well, this is our 3rd year of the series, and we've grown every year. The first year we did it was a couple of foreign riders. Now second year with 30. This is 42 riders from all over Australia. About 10 or 15 countries who are coming from to go to this. So it's perfectly feasible to actually have a World Cup in Yorkshire. We're hoping to that one day. But like I say, we want to carry this series on, and it's where the top riders and road racers all started. Tom Pidcock, Cat Ferguson, they all started in cyclocross. That's where it started. You learn your skills on these muddy, slippery bankings. That's where the skill comes. Then they hit the road.
They've only ever had one World Cup round in the UK before, and it was in Milton Keynes. I was there myself, massive crowds, akin to the ones you get in Belgium and northern France and the Netherlands. But what needs to happen between now and that slightly fantastical prospect of a World Cup round being here, maybe even in Yorkshire?
Well, we've tried this series, but it's the first one we've actually had some TV coverage from it. We've actually had the race on, it's on live on YouTube and things. We've got thousands of people watch it live on YouTube. We have some TV here, so it is working, it is growing. And I think get some good corporate sponsors in and help us out to actually grow the whole thing and make it a real day out for people to come and watch it as well. 4 races to have 4 races of the points that these people get for the championships that they run over in Belgium and Holland. So they all come over to race this, and we can build on it. We can build.
And it's chicken and egg. It's a, if I may use the term, a blue-collar sport in Belgium and the Netherlands and France. It's about working people, appreciating their sport close up. So it's about people whose brands need exposure with the television coverage you describe, coming to talk to you, assumedly, I hope.
We'd love to do that. That's what we need, is more support. We've had a little bit of support this time, and it's building.
Keep going. Ian, I think you'd have an audience here. Anybody who's been to Peel Park in Bradford to watch this kind of race needs no persuasion either. You can tell how excited I am, Amy, as well. Just look down. I'm wearing my cyclocross chic wellies tonight. That's how happy I am.
You can't cycle in them, Oggy. You'd never win in those, thank you.
You certainly need him to watch.
Get yourselves down to Wyke if you fancy joining in that. Now, during this morning's downpour, summer felt like an age away, didn't it? But we can still taste that warmth in the flavour of a lovely ripe apple. Or 2 or 3 or hundreds. It has been a bumper crop, and that is all down to the weather. So what do you do with all of that juicy, sweet fruit? Well, in North Yorkshire, there's a designated Apple Day. I went to one last week, and in Bradford, there's a community juicing session as well, and Heidi Tomlinson has gone along for a go.
Ripe for the picking, months of golden rays makes for a deliciously sweet crunch. At Newby Hall near Ripon, hundreds of apple trees laden with fruit. For some varieties, it's been a bumper year due to the warm spring and summer.
Certain trees, some have done spectacularly well, some less so, but generally across the board, it's going to be a good harvest for fruit this year. When it's dry, the intensity of flavour increases as well, because it's less diluted with huge fruits that are full of water. You've got that flavour that's sort of intensified. On a usual summer, you end up with a nice sort of red bloom on the fruit. This year we've had lots of warmth and lots of sunshine as well, and actually the fruit has ripened really nicely, and you've got this lovely strong red colour.
It's a shame that so many apples get left to rot at this time of year. It's impossible to use every piece of fruit in a pie or a crumble, but over in Bradford, they've got a project to squeeze every last drop from this year's crop. Ultra fresh and fragrant apple juice. Fruit picked yesterday from Wibsey Community Garden, a charity orchard where salad, vegetables and fruits grown to sell to the community and businesses.
There's so much fruit, especially this year. It's a really abundant year for fruit. And for some people, it's just too much. And some of the fruit is ugly or small and not particularly appealing for eating. And so juicing is a great thing to do with it. We fill this all up with the crushed apples.
Volunteers are learning how to juice. The plan is to cascade these skills to other groups. It means more ripe apples can be consumed instead of wasted.
It's really healthy and it tastes gorgeous, so it's absolutely worth it. The apples are brilliant. We've had a bumper crop, and a lot of them go to waste because not many people will buy an apple and eat it. They prefer to get maybe a cake or something.
Back at Newby Hall, windfall fruit is also put to good use on Apple Day at the end of September, where the core competition is hurling a Braeburn or a Bramley over the full width of the River Yore, which is much harder than it looks.
Lawrence is winning now.
No chance. Heidi Tomlinson, BBC Look North.
I don't know about chucking apples into a lake. We've done some juicing. You can freeze it. Also made an apple cake and a pie that's in the freezer.
You didn't bring it in here, did you?
I'm so Mary Berry.
No, I bought you a coffee today and you didn't even bring any of your apple pie
I think you'll thank me for not eating my cake.
Right, OK. Right, let's have a look at this, because I missed this yesterday, actually. It came in very late, but the rainfall that we had 24 hours ago just shows how the river's responded. This is a Ure in Borough Bridge. Very swollen indeed. This afternoon, after the rain this morning, the skies were very nice indeed, and we had a lovely, there we are, a lovely view of Altacumulus there in Massam, and we should see more of that tomorrow. A bit of a mixed picture to come. It's a tricky forecast over the next few days. If you've got any pictures, send them in to me. Tomorrow then, some patchy rain possible, especially in the west. There'll be some sunshine where the sun comes out. It's going to feel quite warm, and this weather front is going to be backwards and forwards for the next few days. A real pain. But the main thing to pull out of this is over the weekend it does actually redevelop, and there's going to be quite a bit of rain around this weekend, and on Sunday, as it moves away to the east, we'll pull in proper autumnal northerly. Maximum temperatures Sunday might only be 12 degrees. Of course, it's the first day of autumn on Monday. Now, there's a radar picture. The rain pulled away quickly by the middle of the day. The afternoon has actually been quite pleasant. So it's fairly quiet out there at the moment. Much of the night will be dry with long, clear spells. Later, cloud might increase in the south, but it does look as though it's going to be dry. We'll see lowest overnight temperatures around 10 or 11 degrees. So tomorrow's high water times, Filey 2:30, Bridlington at 2:46. So a bit of a complicated forecast tomorrow. We should get off to a dry, bright start with some sunshine. Then we've got a weak weather front that will bring cloud back up from the south. A risk of a bit of patchy rain, especially across the Pennines. So western and later northern areas at risk from that. But certainly areas away from the Pennines and certainly eastern parts of Yorkshire should have a reasonable day. And where the sun pops out, not bad. 22, 23. Doncaster, that's the low 70s Fahrenheit. As for Friday, some sunshine, a risk of patchy rain later. There's an early look. This could change, but the risk of some real rainfall over the weekend. Look at that, 12 degrees on Sunday.
I don't think they heard that breaking news earlier. You bought me a coffee.
I did.
That was newsworthy.
And you won't hear the end of it.
No, I won't. That is it from us. Bye-bye.